another record mail opening video today. There's been a lot of those recently, mainly because I've ramped up collecting certainly particular artists, but I've also got a couple of random things as well from acts that I don't tend to collect as a rule, and I've got a couple of those to show you in a bit. Also, I just like doing these vinyl community videos. I know they don't get the views that my Funko stuff does, but I enjoy doing them. I know there's some of you regulars out there who like watching these, so thank you to all of you right from the get-go. Right, so I want to talk about some bargain records that I've bought. All second-hand, all from Discogs Marketplace. There's a bundle of 3 that I've got to open in a sec. I'll talk about another one that I've bought and that I've already opened and listened to before that though. But this bargain bundle, including postage, under £8, and I think 2 of the albums are double disc sets as well. The condition may not be brilliant, but at the price, where the most expensive record in the whole bundle came out to £1.99, and then the other 2 were like £1 each, I'm very happy. And one of those records is also an essential addition to a certain collection of mine. Speaking of which, I want to show you this first before I get going with the mail opening. This came a few days ago. It is Yellow's second album, and it is Claro Que Si, which is Spanish for yes of course. So I just bought this as is on its own from a Discogs Marketplace seller. $6.99, so this is actually the most expensive record that I'm going to be showing you in this video by far, and $6.99 for something in pretty good condition. It is an original 1981 pressing, and it plays very well as well. I've listened to it, it's a good album, not my favourite Yellow album, but still glad to have it for the collection. Really cool, sort of, what would you call that, surrealist art kind of sleeve. I do like the artwork on Yellow albums, and the back of it's pretty nifty as well. So I just wanted to show you that. It's in one of my preferred outer protectors. Nothing to show you regarding the disc itself, that's not very interesting, it's just a standard black vinyl record. Right, let's get into this mail opening here. 3 albums in here, 2 of them are 2 LP sets, and kind of impulsive. But the seller, he was selling an album relating to what I've just showed you that I needed for the collection, and then he said if you buy any other 2 albums you won't pay any more in postage. So altogether, including postage, this was like under £8. Condition on these is ranging from good to good plus, which in the record collecting world I always find means about average. I don't mind, as long as the records play well and the sleeves look acceptable. Certainly for these records, that will do me. Oh, lovely. Just have a quick look at the condition of these. The sleeves anyway, and you know what, I reckon he's been very conservative here, this seller, with how he's graded these. I would possibly class the sleeves, can't say regarding the discs themselves because they're all going to be quite old, but the sleeves themselves, I would class these as at least very good myself. Right, so I'll show you them. The first one, and this one would have been a bit of a hole in the collection until I'd got it. This was the cheapest that I found it on Discogs by quite a few pounds actually, and it is Yellow's debut album, Solid Pleasure. My Yellow collection is coming along very nicely. There's other vinyl LPs that they've released from the 90s onwards. Not all their stuff is out on wax, but a lot is, because it's just out of print and they've not been reissued or anything. It's just silly money. But I'm waiting for one more Yellow album that's coming from Spain, and it's the most that I've paid for one, so I'll be showing you that in a future video. But this is their debut album here, Solid Pleasure, $1.99, so this is almost as cheap as it gets. There again, love the artwork. So a little bit of a look inside. It's not going to be much to see. Yeah, it's just your standard paper in a sleeve, and hopefully the disc will play very nicely for $1.99. I'm expecting kind of surface noise and everything. The album is from 1980, by the way. It'll be an original pressing, or a near enough the original date in 1980. Right, so here are the 2 impulse purchases, and I think one of these was something like £1.25 and the other one was £1. And I think this one I'm going to grab is the pound one. This was the third one that I put in my basket from this seller on Discogs, as he was selling a lot of crap, to be perfectly honest. But the yellow album and these two were really the only three that I was interested in. I'm kind of glad that I've taken the plunge, really, because here is Story of the Stones, 30 original greats by the Rolling Stones. So this is one of those early 80s, in fact I think this is from 1982, kind of TV compilations that you'd see advertised during the commercial break of Coronation Street. So not exactly a massively official Rolling Stones greatest hits, but it's got original Stones tracks on it. And for £1, and there's 2 discs as well, gatefold, and it looks to be nice condition, look. It's even got some sleeve notes from someone from Radio 1 in there. John Tobler. Never heard of him. But it's got lots of the Stones' well-known tracks on. Satisfaction, Little Red Rooster, We Love You, a great single from the 60s. That was kind of like the Stones going into a psychedelic period briefly. Honky Tonk Woman, Jumping Jack Flash, I Want to Be Your Man, Street Fighting Man, Get Off My Cloud. A lot of very well-known Stones singles, mainly from the 60s, obviously, and some from the 70s as well. This isn't the first Stones album that I've owned. In fact, it's not even the first Stones greatest hits that I've owned. I've got their Jump Back compilation on minidisc. I showed that ages ago in a very old minidisc update video. But there'll be some stuff on here that won't be on that album, so and I thought for £1, and I'm not paying any more in postage. Yeah, it's official, but it's one of these sort of budget-priced, advertise it on TV. I think it's K-Tel, which is the record label. Yeah, K-Tel, but under license from Decca, who I know were the Rolling Stones label for many years. Also, another thing which means this might be sort of more a budget-end album is that this, or I think a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it is recorded in mono, which, if you haven't got your speakers like sort of quite far away from each other, you're not really going to notice. I've got some mono 7-inch singles from the 60s, and they still sound great on a modern stereo system or a modern turntable. But there we are. It's the story of the Stones, and I think that's going to be quite a decent listen, that. Many of the Stones' early greatest hits, or from the first couple of decades or so of their career. Story of the Stones from 1982, a K-Tel budget release. Certainly a budget for me, it was like £1. And this one I'm going to show you, the final record from this seller, was, I said £1 earlier, I think £1.25 actually, so 25 pence more. But I was really happy to get this because I've not got an album by this group yet, and I've liked this group a long time. And it is The Story of The Who. I do like The Who. I like a lot of their singles, particularly from the 60s. And my favourite Who song is Barbara O'Reilly, which I think was 1970 or 1971, but you'll know it when you hear it. And that is on here. This is more of an official greatest hits rather than the Stones album. This was released in 1979, I think, so this one's going to be coming up for 42 years old. We've got an exploding pinball machine on the front, and there it is in its unexploded state on the back. But there again, lots of stuff that I'm familiar with here, and others that I haven't heard either ever or for a long time. Magic Bus, Substitute, I'm a Boy, I really love that single. My Generation, everyone knows that. I Can See for Miles, another one that I really like. Squeeze Box, Pinball Wizard, the one I mentioned earlier, my favourite, Barbara O'Reilly, Won't Get Fooled Again. This is quite a comprehensive greatest hits from The Who, really, going from their origins in the 60s all the way to the very late 70s when this album came out. The record label is Polydor. I'm looking at the copyright on here. The copyright for this is actually 1976, but I thought this was out in 79. It could have been 76, to be honest, unless this is like a 79 repressing, I've no idea. I like this little note at the top here that says this album's also available on cassette and cartridge. That'll be 8-track cartridge, by the way. And there again, really nice gatefold. Gatefold sleeves are a lot more common in the 70s and 80s, you'll find. And a lot of reading here. I'm not going to inspect the discs for any of these, as none of them are coloured records. They're all quite old, and I'm not expecting the sound quality to be absolutely perfect. But it's great to get a Who Greatest Hits album in my collection finally. Especially one that's, at least on the surface, in such good nick as this, for little over £1. Marvellous. So there we are, 4 albums that I've shown you, 2 more for the yellow collection, and there again, that's a collection that, although I'm waiting for 1 more, I think that's going to be winding down a bit now. And then, although they were impulsive purchases, really happy that I've got them. A Greatest Hits double compilation from the Stones, and then another one in rather more of an official format from The Who. Thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed this video, and of course special thanks as always to my patrons and subscribers. My Patreon link is as always down in the description text box. Go and check it out, see how you can help support me and my channel and the work that I do upon it. I'm going to go now, and I've got 3 new, although second hand and very cheap, albums to listen to. Which one shall I start with? Tell you what, you leave your comments in the comment section and let me know which of these albums you would enjoy listening to first and foremost. And I do hope that you all will join me again next time for my next vinyl record mail opening. Cheers everyone. See ya!